What's going on, good people, man? Look, welcome back to the area, man. Look, y'all already know who it is, man. I'm your man, Ivan Tosin, Certified Peer Support Specialist here at Capital Area Human Services. Hey, look, man, first, I want to thank y'all for engaging with us, man. I know it's a lot of people, man, that's been viewing. You've been liking it. You've been commenting. You've been sharing it with other people, man. I want to encourage you, continue to do that because you never know who life or lives, if I'm saying, however you say that, you could be touching, you know what I'm saying, just by sharing it with somebody, you know what I'm saying? So keep up the good work, y'all. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for rocking this with us, you heard me? But anyways, man, look, so today, in light of National Recovery Month, man, we have a special guest in the building, a dynamic episode. I'm telling you it's going to be. So look, I don't want to spoil his introduction, man. Actually, I'm going to allow him to do that himself because who can do it better than him, you heard me? So anyways, man, look, let's go ahead and get into it, man. You can introduce yourself, man. Let us know who you are.
Man, appreciate it. First of all, thanks for the opportunity to be here, talk to y'all, man. This is gonna do more for me than it might do for y'all because this is how I get to serve today. And so I'm grateful to be here, man. My name is John Daly. I actually work for the DA's office, which is a trip because I'm also a recovered addict.
Yeah.
And so I get to do certain things that otherwise I never would have had exposure to if it wasn't the opportunity to get well, to get exposed to recovery.
Yes, sir. Gotcha, man. So look, let's start. Let me ask a question, and this is like a treatment question, right? What was your drug of choice?
Man, so anything. You know what I'm saying? Like any mood altering chemical, because at the end of the day, all I was seeking was a solution.
Come on.
I didn't realize it at the time, but I had a whole lot of pain, a whole lot of trauma that I was suffering from. I just needed a solution. And I can tell you, I don't remember what hurricane it was, but I remember one time I was a kid, man. I was like 12, 13 years old, and a hurricane hit, and lights was out for 2 weeks. And I didn't have anything, so I huffed aerosol cans for 2 weeks just to get a little buzz, you know. So anything I can tell you, I predominantly, I smoke marijuana like cigarettes, but I predominantly enjoyed ecstasy, some MDMA, I guess y'all call it nowadays. But back in my day, it was ecstasy pills and meth, and I dabbled with some opiates. That back then we had like OC80s and Roxys and all that, you know. But I love some Valiums and some Xanabars.
I understand. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. So look, I had a gumbo pot, you know what I'm saying? But we ain't gonna go into that. I told my story a million times, so y'all already know. But man, so let's do this, man, because you speak of using everything that you've used, man, in attempts to escape, sounds like. Yeah. And so let's talk a little bit more about what were we running from? What were we trying to get? What was so painful that it's like, man, like I gotta get away. I can't face this. Like, what was that thing?
Right. And I say this a lot, man, but trauma is the gateway drug. You know, we've all heard marijuana is the gateway drug. Nah, trauma is the gateway drug. Let me back up. So I grew up in a household, if you would have asked me before I got into recovery how my childhood was, I would have told y'all it was fine. It was great compared to most of my cousins and everybody else I knew. Like my parents were together. We had a roof over our heads, you know what I'm saying? Like they fought every night, but I did things and I had shoes that I wanted and things like that. Yeah. What I didn't realize at the time was the impact of things like the fighting and other adverse childhood experiments. There were some experiments and experiences, traumatic experiences that occurred during childhood.
Come on.
I didn't know, man, but I just knew that I struggled a lot with emotions. And I struggled a lot with regulating those things, man. It wasn't until about like 10, 11 years old, I remember the first time I got high, it was marijuana. And I remember my brain associating that feeling with success. I remember saying I would never go another day without this. It was a solution in that for the first time I felt like this weight I had been carrying, this anxiety, this depression, this terror, man. Yeah. Just kind of like, you know what I mean? And so that's what catapulted me. Like, I mean, it was day one. I jumped off the porch into it, bro. Yeah. And it was crazy is that back then we didn't talk about trauma, man. You know what I mean? Like PTSD was like this new idea, like we didn't talk about that kind of stuff. So I had no idea. Yeah. And, it's taken me still up until now to start to understand, like, how certain events during childhood had led me down certain paths that I never wanted to go down. You know?
Bruh, and it's crazy, man, because until you really start having a conversation, like a lot of people are dealing with trauma and don't even realize they're dealing with it, for one. And it's like until you really have the conversation with people to help people understand what trauma is first, and what give different scenarios, if you want to say, of what can be trauma, because people are, especially when you grow up in certain environments, grow up in certain families, it becomes normal, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so a lot of times what's normal is actually trauma, but you don't see it as trauma because it's like, oh, well,
it's only normal like
wasn't like this for everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like this just was a norm where I was from or in my house, you know what I'm saying? And so anyways, until you begin to actually go through life and now you're adulthood and you're having some challenges maybe in adulthood with relationships or on your job, whatever it may be, your finances, yada yada, and not realizing how these things are in direct connection, you know what I'm saying, or that umbilical cord, if you want to say, attached to your trauma. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I mean, you're absolutely right. And you know, it's like exposure to the truth is getting connected to the truth, getting connected to others has been the solution for me. That's been the antidote for me.
That's good.
Like, for example, you know, I'm not scared to sit here and say it. I was molested several times. You know, that was a secret I was taking to the grave. Until I realized it was actually taking me to the grave. And it took for me to get to a place of willingness, which required a bunch of painful events first for me to get willing. But it took me to get to a place of willingness to get help. I sat down with my first sponsor, tough guy, super masculine, Marine Corps, you know, like file under the do not mess with kind of guy. And I remember I was sitting down to do my fifth up and I was going to share everything except that one thing. I was taking that to the grave. And it's like, you know, we get to the end. And like I was having a panic attack, man. Like my muscles was contracting. I was just shaking. And he knew, you know. And so he called me out of it, not in a malicious way. He just like, what you holding on to, bro? Let it go, let it go. And so I did, man. I mustered up all the courage I had at that time. And I looked this man in his eye and I told him something super vulnerable, something I ain't never told anybody, something I had a hard time telling myself.
I understand.
And you know what he did? He looked at me and said, man, that ain't nothing. Let me tell you what I did, bro. And in that moment, boom, just like that, it was like that weight.
Yes, sir.
That burden just began to fall off of me. And I realized the next day that I felt more liberated. I felt more resilient. I felt free, man. And I know it's corny, but you know what they say, the truth will set you free. But I got to get true with myself first. And then getting true with somebody else. That's when I realized, man, wow, this really was taking me to the grave. I've been a slave to fear. I've been a slave to trauma, to dishonesty, man. And ultimately, drugs was my friend because it gave me a solution, and then it turned against me. You know, the only thing that was there for me consistently, drugs and alcohol, now was trying to destroy me. Man, I was in a mess, bro. That's the type of stuff, that's the hopelessness I believe we all need to get to. You got to get there.
Bruh, and when you said like, you know, I was taking this to the grave, but in fact it was taking you to the grave, bro. Like I that ran through every part of my bones and marrow. Like it just, because I identify with that, you know, when you deal with those secrets, you know what I'm saying? And it was the same exact way even for me. Like, you know, my thing was I was taking these things to the grave. I was never going to tell anybody, you know what I'm saying? But in fact, it was destroying me because the pain was still there. It was still there in my mind, at the forefront of my mind every day. And now I gotta cope with it. You know what I'm saying? And now the very things I'm using to cope with it, it's also destroying me. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, it's like that double-edged sword. I know we talked about that yesterday. And so, man, bro, that's potent, bro. But I love how you talk about this moment, you know what I'm saying, that you had sitting before this guy. I'm a firm believer, you know what I'm saying, how the Bible say, you know, 2 is better than 1, 3 is a cord. And so when we have those relationships in our life and those those free people in our lives who can help free us, and we can mirror each other. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the same way for me, man, when I did my first 5th step, bro. No lie, dog. I sat across from this dude. I thought about everything that I was not going to tell him, and I refused. I'm gonna say this, but I'm not going to say this. You know what I'm saying? So dude was like, man, look, before you even get to talking, let me tell you some things. And he just said almost everything, but more importantly, the things that I was decided in my mind I wasn't going to tell him, he told me those same exact things. Man. And that liberated me to be like, oh, man, you too? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, bro, like as a man, I was ashamed. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm also, found that, which I love to have these conversations, man, because it's a lot of men. Like you said, this guy who was a Marine, probably built very strong and masculine man, alpha male, you know what I'm saying? And that doesn't take nothing away from this man, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we're all humans. We all have a human experience and things in our lives that we are not proud about, that we're all ashamed about. But when we don't know how to deal with those things, sometimes we can mask it in this extra masculinity, being compensating. You know what I'm saying?
I did it with womanizing, for example. Because I mean,
come on,
look at me, man. Look.
All right, that brother look good, don't it? Yeah, come on.
So and then that became a solution, and then that became the biggest issue in my life. It's crazy, man. Everything that I sought to fill whatever void, whatever inadequacy, right? Because I felt less of a man after that stuff happened to me as a child. Man.
Come on, man.
It was like I was robbed of my manhood or something.
Yeah.
And so, I compensated. And then it ended up being the biggest issue in my life. And I actually became more fearful. I had more anxiety, more depression.
Yeah.
Man, I can understand how people get suicidal because it made sense to me at one time. And I know that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
But thank God I got exposed to some hope, man.
Come on, bro. And we just left through, I think last week was National Suicide Week. And so, which I know it's a lot of people, and I can't disclose who, but I have a family member that's actually really going through that right now. Had an attempt and everything, and so and very young. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're talking teenager, and honestly, a lot of teenagers are really going through this right now. And thinking about taking their lives just with the social media. That's just a whole different world that a lot of us didn't deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like we dealt with it in our own way, but I tell you, man, just that feeling of hopelessness, you know what I'm saying? Like I always, because I've been to that moment, and I didn't have a serious attempt, but I did attempt, and but I know that at the point of jumping off the ledge is this feeling of there's nothing else left. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no way out.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back. So just boom.
Right. No, I mean, for real, it's like I can't live successfully anymore, but I also can't die successfully anymore. I can tell you the difference between like recovery. I wake up with the same, y'all see how passionate I am, with the same zeal and excitement for life.
Come on.
And by 3 o'clock, I might be like, man, but to hell with this day. But every day, man, I get to wake up with hope. Before that, I woke up aggravated.
Yes, sir.
And here's the thing is like, you was talking about free people. Freed people. I mean, we've all heard hurt people. I like to say healed people, heal people.
Come on.
And you know what I mean? Like, and you talked about, this dude, he might have been compensating. He might have been all masculine in the Marine Corps because he was compensating for what happened to him. But guess what? When he got honest about that, I didn't lose any respect for him. Matter of fact, I gained more respect for him.
That's good.
Because I saw that this dude had the courage, the real gall to be real, to be authentic, to be. And you know what? I could see that he had something that I wanted. That was freedom. Yeah, man.
Woo. All right, man. Look, look, we can get lost in that. So, the main thing, man, I definitely want to identify here is that in order to get to this place, man, of experiencing or starting to experience that freedom and continue to work on yourself in regards to trauma, man, is that there had to be some level of therapy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so we always stress the importance, here at Capital Area, man, y'all already know we provide mental health, we provide substances. I always get that wrong because I know They say that different now. Substance use disorder.
Yeah,
All right, because see, I'm still saying substance abuse something, and I hate to be wrong with that. So I want to make sure that I'm have the word substance use disorder. Yes. So y'all already know, man, this is a place that you can come receive help. Many other places, you know what I'm saying, here in the local area. And but we always want to stress the importance of reaching out to someone safe, finding someone that you can talk to with whatever you're dealing with. And like I always tell people, since the pandemic, it's easier than ever. You know, you really don't even have to step foot through this door. We want you to, but we do understand that everybody's not going to step foot through this door. You can get out your phone. You can find some kind of app or clinic that will allow you to do your appointment virtually, and they can be on the other side of the world. They don't know you, you don't know them. It can be that way, you know what I'm saying? And so there's almost like there's no excuse for it these days. Like if you want help, it's easy to access. And so, but I do want to move into, because when we talk about easy to access and thinking of some of the efforts and work that you're putting in right now, man, talk about some of that, man, because what you all are doing, man, is in the community, man. So dealing with the opioid crisis, opioid addiction, and people that's out here, man, you are able to distribute Narcan. You are able to assist people with getting into treatment, all these kind of things. So talk about some of the things that y'all are doing, man, to really bring change and help people out here.
Yeah. So, full disclosure, I think I said it, I'm a CPA. Those are just 3 letters at the end of my name that basically is a ticket on a ride that I otherwise would not have been able to get on. And so now with that, I'm able to work for the government at the DA's office and rub elbows with influential, powerful people, the stakeholders. And so here's the thing, is like, you know, I'm gonna say this now before I forget it, because it's relevant to what we just talked about. It's relevant to what's going on now. Hopelessness is like a paradox, right? I had to get to that place of hopelessness so I'd be willing to change, because pain's a great motivator.
Yep.
But the problem, the most traumatic thing about trauma is feeling like you're alone in it. So you're not. I'm here to tell you, you're not.
Yeah.
And I hope that you give yourself the opportunity to experience that and trust that for yourself.
Come on.
So what we do now is, so now, you know, I'm with the government, but I also have this lived experience. I'm able, and I brought in funding from different sources. It created different projects. Man, I use we got a crime strategies unit with criminal intelligence analysts, like some real CSI type stuff, man. And so like we synthesize that data into these reports where I can like heat map, like hotspot map, all the overdose hotspots in the city. So then I got with Tanja Miles, and we co-created several initiatives like When You Are Ready. We call it When You Are Ready, because we know you ain't gonna change until you're ready.
That's right.
But what we do then is we create these little push cards. We put phone numbers, like one of them be in the capital area for detox treatment, for a ride to them places. So that way, when you're ready, you have that card. Because the way I always visualize it is like, you know, you rummaging through your drawers, you know, maybe looking for me, it was always like a sack of dope I had or something.
Yes, sir.
And then in that moment of desperation, boom, there's that card, you know, because that's a small window when we're actually willing, you know, and some of us get to that place of conviction.
Yeah.
But we're so out there right now because with fentanyl on the streets, no one's safe. It's depriving people of that opportunity way sooner than it should. See, when we got sober, we had more opportunities to get enough pain to get to that place, that jumping off place, right?
Sir, that's
where
real.
we're like, okay, I'm either gonna kill myself or I'm gonna get help because I can't continue the way I was continuing.
That's
like
good.
It's not an option anymore. Not with fentanyl anymore. Fentanyl is like, it could be your first time.
And
That's
your
the
last.
scary thing.
Come on.
Yeah, first and last time. And so, you know, with partnering with Tanja and the community, you know, we're able to bring that data to more people, equip them with the facts, because it's like, if you don't understand the problem, how are you going to accept a solution?
Yeah.
Like, would you have open heart surgery right now today?
I do. I would not.
What if I told you if you didn't have open heart surgery right now today, you're going to die this week? Would you have open heart surgery today then?
I think I'll take my chances.
See, it's difficult to accept a solution, especially a difficult solution, without first understanding the facts. So that's one thing I get to do now is equip folks with the facts, but more importantly, add value to efforts out here like this right here. This and what y'all do, this right here is invaluable.
Yeah.
Right now, we're having a real, authentic conversation.
That's right.
Okay? That requires a lot of courage to be that vulnerable. But man, if you really want freedom, that's kind of the conversations you got to start having.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, man. And so, man, tell me this. So with let's say a family member is out there and they say, hey, look, I have a loved one, and they may know for sure that that person is using some form of an opioid, and they like, look, I heard you talk about this Narcan. How can I get some Narcan? Like, how can I get some of that? Because I'm afraid that I may find my loved one overdose, and I want to at least have some to be able to save their lives, you know?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'm the bad one to ask about that, because I can't rattle off the list, but I know people who can, bro.
Okay,
and that's the great thing about recovery, right? Is like Henry Ford once said, I have the answer to everything. So this reporter, you know, he asked him some crazy biology question, and Henry Ford said, hold up, and he picked up the phone.
Come on.
So if you're interested, check out www.whenyouarereadybr.com. And then what was the one that we were talking about earlier?
Oh, and that's the in-house clinic here with Capital Area. Our website is realhelpbr.com.
Yeah, and so we do, like, when we get our hands on Narcan, we go into these hotspot areas and we pass them out. I mean, if y'all interested, I'll leave some information that you can share with these folks.
Definitely.
I mean, but like I said, go to www.whenyouarereadybr.com. You can connect with us there. I mean, you can call me at the DA's office. You know, we'll get you some Narcan if you want some Narcan. Because I'll tell you the truth. I keep 1 or 2 in my center console in my truck. Y'all handing out dollars at the red lights, bro. I'm handing out Narcan.
Come on.
I know what time it is.
It's real out here. It's real.
It's that real out here. And I'm going to tell you, when I give it out, bro, they appreciate it. They want it. You know what I'm saying? Because they know what time it is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, bro, so we got we can go on and on. Now, of course, for the sake of time, we have to start landing the plane. Yeah. I wish we had longer, man. But let's do it before we go home, man. Let's give the people something, man. So if you had 60 seconds, man, and somebody was sitting right here in front of you, that camera is a person who says, man, look, I don't know if I want to live or die right now. I hear where you were. I am where you were. I want to be where you are, but I don't know what to do. But I don't know whether I want to live or die right now. 60 seconds, man. Talk to that person.
Boy, you put me on the spot. Let me look. Empathy is something I've had to develop. All right, here we go. If you telling me that you don't know if you want to live or die, I get it, bro. I get it. Death is a really easy solution, and it makes a whole lot of sense. I get it, man. But there is another solution, and it's out there if you want it. And that's the thing, man. It's hard work. Living is hard work. Living successfully is even more hard. You know, I mean, what they say, change is inevitable, but growth is optional. And I know, man, I've been there. Like, growth is the last thing you even trying to think about right now, being in survival mode. I get it. But look, bro, the truth, you ain't alone. You don't have to be alone. And so I'm happy, and there's so many people like me happy to walk this path with you, to do this hard work with you, to show you what they did to get through it, because on the other end is freedom. On the other end is confidence. On the other end of it is that life that makes sense to you right now. See, when I was there, it was because I was living a life that was inconsistent with a life that made sense to me. And I couldn't continue on that way anymore, but I also didn't know how to stop living that way. That's the scary part.
Yeah.
That's when I get to that place where suicide or death looks like the better solution. I'm tired of hurting. I'm tired of pain, and it ain't stopping. I need help.
Man, I mean, ain't nothing to say after that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, bro, I think you just definitely, if I was that person, I would feel like, you know what, for one, I feel like I'm not alone, you know what I'm saying? And for two, I feel like there's somebody that cares, you know what I'm saying, and willing to take the next step with me, you know what I'm saying? And so I thank you for that, you know what I'm saying? That was very dope, man, and straight from the heart, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like nothing about that was like, oh, this is just rehearsed, or, you know, I'm just repeating something I wrote in the book. Like, no, man, like, it's real stuff going on out here, man. People are really dying, man. People are really taking their lives out here, you know what I'm saying? And it's no room for I don't know. I'm bad with words sometimes, but not being authentic. Let me just say that. You know what I'm saying? And so we need everybody that's on the front lines, man. It's so important for us during this time, during this season, to be your authentic self. Yeah. Whatever God has called you to do, really do it with your all. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody's life is dependent on it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, man, look, we want to thank y'all, man. You know, so let me ramp it back up. I got to get in my podcast mode. Look, we want to thank y'all, man, for stepping back into the area, man. We want to thank John, man, for stepping through the area, man, enlightening us pretty much on everything that he has going on, what he's doing. We pray and hope that you got so much value out of this. Once again, share this with somebody else, because you may be the person that say, hey, well, look, that wasn't for me. But guess what? It's for somebody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it may not be for you, but it don't mean that you can't share with somebody who may get something from it. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, just continue to engage with us, man. We thank y'all for once again for stepping into the area. And look, we're going to see y'all in the next episode, man. We'll holler, man. Y'all take it easy.